Military, still baby killers. They're getting awards now. President has given them awards for not killing people, for having restraint. I thought that's what these people do every day. And the police. Are they still pigs to these people? In Bill Ayer's FBI file, they talk about him sending 150 people to Cuba, recruited from the Black Panthers, to oppose that evil boycott of ours. Well, you know the Black Panthers, they're trying to revive that brand name. And where is Bill Ayers today? Look, here he is. Oh, look. And he's wearing a Cuba jersey. Who's a cute little radical. Oh, he's harmless. Yeah, he's only writing school books now and teaching kids in university. But as you look through this document, you'll see that the philosophy is exactly the same as it is today, coming out of this administration. If you insert the victims, you gather the victims, this is the victims of the 1960s, the Vietnamese, the students, the minorities, the unions, the workers, the third world, and the oppressed. You don't need the Vietnamese anymore. All we have to do is clean up the outdated radical hippie language of the 60s and replace Vietnamese with Palestinians or the Iraqis. And you pretty much have a position paper from this administration. Back then, the victims were the Vietnamese, the students, the labor unions, the working class, the third world, the oppressed. No longer today, not the Vietnamese. No, it's Palestinians and the Iraqis. That's who it was, or the Afghan people. In other words, whatever side we're supposedly not on, that's the side here. And while the left is still complaining about the oppression of unions and the students, their new victim of police brutality and racism are these people, the illegals. This was their approach towards the Arizona law. Listen to the manifesto and see if this sounds familiar. The law specifically prohibited targeting anyone because of their race. So they had to fall back on the idea that the police, the pigs, are racists. That's why Arizona law. The police are racist, and they would violate the law to harass Hispanics. Do you remember this from the president?
If you are a Hispanic American in Arizona, your great-grandparents may have been there before Arizona was even a state. But now suddenly, if you don't have your papers and you took your kid out to get ice cream, you're going to be harassed. That's something that could potentially happen.
This is not a new tactic. The police presented as racist entity of capitalism, brutalizes innocent people. It has been central to the movement since the Weather Underground of the 1960s. Let me quote. See if you recognize any of this. The pigs are the capitalist state. Pigs really are the issue. And the people will understand this one way or another. They can have a liberal understanding that pigs are sweaty, working-class barbarians who overreact, and commit police brutality, or they can understand pigs as the repressive, imperialistic state doing its job. But you will understand one of these one way or another. When you understand this philosophy, that pigs are sweaty barbarians who overreact, doesn't the statement, the police, I have no information, but the police acted stupidly, make a little more sense? See, it doesn't matter to them why you think the police are evil, racist. It just matters that you do. The Weather Underground. They believed that the police had to be resisted at every turn and followed closely a principle that might seem familiar to those who have watched this program. Watch this. In the last, they wrote this in the manifesto. Our beginnings should stress self-defense, moving towards, according to necessity, armed self-defense, all the time honoring and putting forth the principle that political power comes out of the barrel of a gun. If you've watched this show in the last year, you know why that's important. If you don't know that political power comes out of the barrel of a gun according to the Weather Underground in 1969, Let me replay Ron Bloom, our new manufacturing czar.
We know that the free market is nonsense. We kind of agree with Mao that political power comes largely from the barrel of a gun.
America, do you know anybody who thinks like that? Do you know anybody? This president doesn't know just somebody that thinks that. He knows all these people who think like that. If you knew someone like that, would you hire someone like that? If you're thinking we're only talking about guys in suits blabbing on about political theory, remember, there are people dedicated to this cause who are still violent and active. They're in the vast minority, but they still are agitators. The new Black Panther Party. Watch this video I doubt you've seen before. Here they are in the year 2000. Remember, talking about police. Watch this.
We have a dream today, as I conclude, a black dream today of self-defense.
That's right.
Of self-defense.
That's right.
In the face of racism, in the face of police brutality, in the face of overwhelming odds against us, we today have a vision of a black dream today, a black dream that when we see caskets rolling in the black community,
that's right,
that when we see caskets rolling and funerals in the black community, that we will see caskets and funerals in the community of our enemy as well today.
Who's the enemy? Do you want to see caskets in the black community, white community, Asian community? Do you want to see caskets? So who is their enemy? The philosophy of the Black Panther radicals is irrelevant, really, because it's the Black Panthers. I mean, but it's not irrelevant because the philosophy is the same as the radicals of the Weather Underground. And these people have been influenced by this. They use race as a weapon. We've talked to you at length about liberation theology. Well, so did the Weather Underground. Black liberation, the movement, is automatically in and of itself inseparable part of the whole revolutionary struggle. Inseparable. Against us, imperialism, and for international socialism. You got it? You can't separate these two. And from the founder of Black Liberation Theology, here's James Cone.
Well, if you're identifying with the victim, you not only want to feel good about that, you also have to pay back that which you took. You just don't say, please forgive me now. The only way in which your repentance, your forgiveness can be authentic, your reception of it can be authentic, your repentance can be authentic, is that you give back what you took. And white people took a lot from black people.
Liberation theology is less of a religion than an anti-capitalist political philosophy. He's not talking violence here. He's talking redistribution of wealth. Black liberation theology is not only the theology of Black Panthers, well-respected Cone, but also Malik Shabazz, same guy here. Here it is, Jeremiah Wright. Every Sunday for 20 years. Weather Underground philosophy made it very clear. You cannot separate these two viewpoints. They criticized any African American that would. Here it is. The so-called black capitalists who are promoted by the power structure to seem independent, but are really agents of white monopoly capital. Okay, what does that mean? Well, do I need to tell you their story? When I come back, I will show you now how the Weather Underground treats dissenters